Suguru Geto is one of the most complex characters in Jujutsu Kaisen, and today we are going to talk on why his character is so interesting. Please, if you haven't already, then feel free to like and subscribe and join me as we journey to 100 followers. To understand Suguru Geto, we have to rewind a bit and go back to his introduction in Season 2. Now, Suguru Geto was introduced to us as a student in Jujutsu High. He was a special great sorcerer who wielded a curse technique of curse spirit manipulation. But furthermore, Suguru Geto was both best friend and sorcerer partner to his fellow classmate Satoru Gojo. With both of them being special great sorcerers and having immensely powerful curse techniques, they both hailed themselves as the strongest and were often sent out as a team during missions. Now that we know about his origin, let's dive into the moment that changed his life forever. Due to the assimilation time of Tengen approaching, Suguru Geto alongside Satoru Gojo were both given a mission to protect, secure and retrieve the star plasma vessel Riko Amanai to Jujutsu High. They then went off for the mission with no idea of what was waiting for them, because for sure they were the strongest. But that meant nothing, as a cult named the Star Religious Group had sent out assassins to kill Riko Amanai. Suguru Geto and Satoru Gojo managed to repel and defeat all the assassins. They also managed to retrieve her and were headed back to Jujutsu High. All seemed well. The mission had some hiccups, but they were the strongest. They could handle everything, except Toji Fushiguro, a sorcerer killer who possessed zero cursed energy and an extremely heavy restriction, broke into Jujutsu High undetected and stabbed Satoru Gojo in the back. This shook both of them, as even Gojo, who wielded the six eyes, couldn't detect this man. In order to see the mission to its success, Gojo stayed back to hold off Toji Fushiguro, and Geto went off quickly to take Riko Amanai, the star plasma vessel, to Tengen. Upon reaching the Gate of the Stars, Suguru Geto, realizing that Riko Amanai, worried, stopped and asked if she wanted to push forward with the assimilation, as it required her to essentially die and become Tengen. He told her not to worry, that no matter her choice, even if she chooses not to push through, she has him and Satoru Gojo to protect her from Tengen and the higher ups. Unfortunately, just after agreeing to flee with Geto and Gojo, Riko Amanai met her untimely death at the hands of Toji Fushiguro. Enraged, Suguru Geto began launching multiple coordinated curse spirit attacks, but all fell short as Toji, who had proclaimed to have killed the Gojo by his own hands, beat the shit out of Suguru Geto. Upon fearing for the consequences of killing a curse spirit manipulation user, Toji didn't kill him, but he severely injured him and took Riko's body and fled the scene. It was later revealed to us that Shoko, who was both Gojo and Geto's friend and was good with reverse curse technique, came in and healed Geto. But one can say his body was healed, but his mind, his ego, remained fractured. Geto later rushed to the Star Religious Group headquarters as he found Satoru Gojo, who had ascended as a sorcerer and who had technically become the strongest sorcerer of the modern age, walking towards him at the door with Riko in his arms as the humans surrounding them cheered at her death. Geto had already realized it. Satoru Gojo had surpassed him and had killed Toji Fushiguro, the same man who defeated him and spared his life. Another thing to note too is that Gojo wanted to kill all the humans clapping at Riko's death, but Geto stopped him as he said that there won't be any meaning to that since Riko is already dead. Geto also gets lonely from this point forward, as Gojo, being the strongest sorcerer alive, was now sent on solo missions without Geto. Around this time too, Nanami, a student sorcerer at Jujutsu High, lamented at the death of his friend on a mission and said that Gojo should just handle all affairs now, since he is the strongest sorcerer of the modern age. It was obvious now that Gojo was no longer his equal, but greater than that. He entered a state of depression as he wondered if humans are even worth saving. few weeks after the death of Riko Amanai, another special great sorcerer, Yuki Tsukumo, came to Jujutsu High to speak with both Gojo and Geto. But due to Gojo's absence as he was sent on a mission at the time, she met only with Geto. The two began trading their ideals on Jujutsu society and cursed spirits in general, where Tsukumo expressed her desire to erase cursed spirits from existence. Geto piqued interest in this, and upon discussing, he came to realize that cursed spirits are formed from the cursed energy that oozes out of non-sorcerers, and that by killing all non-sorcerers, it will eventually lead to the extinction of cursed spirits. At this point, Geto had found a new purpose in life, as he left Jujutsu High and went on to kill about 100 of non-sorcerers in the night, including his parents. He was later known as the worst and most dangerous curse user in the history of Jujutsu. Meanwhile, Satoru Gojo, upon hearing about the pending execution of his best friend, couldn't take it and went off to find him and talk him back to his senses. He eventually found Geto in a crowded street and they had a violent exchange of words, as Gojo tried to tell him that it's impossible to kill all non-sorcerers and that Geto should stop joking around. Geto, on the other hand, asked Gojo, "Are you the strongest because you are Satoru Gojo, or are you Satoru Gojo because you are the strongest?" With this, Geto brushed off Gojo, saying that Gojo on his own is strong enough to kill all non-sorcerers, so he shouldn't lecture him on what is possible or not. With this, the duo was broken, as Geto walked away with Satoru Gojo being unable to end his one and only friend. Geto later returns to the Star religious group, where he takes control of the entire organization and kills any non-sorcerer who opposes him. Several years had passed at this moment, and Geto, who was defeated in battle by Yuta Okutsu, finally met his end in the hands of his one and only best friend Satoru Gojo. That concludes the life of Suguru Geto, and I think as messed up as his plans were, all what Geto wanted was a world where Jujutsu sorcerers, especially Gojo, got to live normal lives too, without worrying about cursed spirits. Thank you all for watching, and please subscribe to the channel for more content.